Had a little bit of money, so the Lord did me good. Got all kind of shit. Got the glow sticks. I got the gotcha bag. Got the Hawaiian punch. Man, everybody won't holler at Pop what you need. I got it. If I ain't got it, I can find it. You understand? I'm selling glow sticks. Glow sticks that go with the yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You know, might go off, or I don't know, what kind of practical jokes do you play?
Well, with my new chemistry set, thanks to Brie Larson, I do like to make stink bombs.
Imagine Seth Green loose on the floor of the Dome, in front of more than 70,000 screaming, yelling, chinging fans. So what's it like to be Seth Green tonight?
The spirit is amazing. Cha-ching!
こんにちは。ボンバットファミリーと私たちのライブ放送へようこそ。私たちはあなたの視聴とリスニングの喜びのための素晴らしいショーを持っています。今あなたのホストスコッティ・ジェイロとジェリー・ケーブルにステイ・ボンバードを楽しんで覚えておいてください。
Welcome to the Bombadcast.
What's up, Bombad fam? It's good to be with you. It's a Bombad Wednesday. What's up with that? I don't know. Listen, we're kind of going. Listen, Andor, the finale happened today. Everyone's, we're a mix of emotions. We're happy, we're elated, we're sad. We're filled with emotion. We want to throw a brick into a fascist face. Listen, it's a great day to be a Star Wars fan. It's a great day to stay Bombad, and we're just so glad that you're here. On Thanksgiving Eve, is that a thing? It probably is. I don't know. We're all getting ready to take high levels of tryptophan tomorrow, so let's just get into it. You're here at the main show, a weekly Star Wars experience, usually live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. Except for when the stars align to do something of this nature tonight. Kind of a Thanksgiving special with a very special guest. We're really excited. One of our good buddies, our good pals, here to talk with us about, again, the I don't know, punching space Nazis and stuff like that. It's going to be a good time. But welcome. You've reached it. The Bombadcast on Wednesday. But we do more shows. In fact, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time, we have Bombad Gaming with my good buddy, Scotty J. Rowe. And Scotty sits down. He plays, the YouTubes. He plays the Nintendos. He plays them all. And he plays them for you. And especially if you buy him food. He really loves to play when you buy him food. So come every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central. It's a good time. I show up sometimes. Who cares? But then you also, every other week, and actually returning, not next week, but the week after, Hyperfocus with Gerry Cable. Look at that nice new graphic that Scotty's been working on. Very, 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 very cool. But yeah, bi-weekly discussion show. I sit down with someone from the Star Wars Twitter, YouTube, podcasting community, and we talk about, I don't know, sometimes bees, it's fine. We talk about whatever we want to talk about. It can be Star Wars, true, but it doesn't have to be. And that's the fun of Hyperfocus. It's as ADHD as I am. And I feel very radio announcer tonight. I feel like I'm very calm, like controlled chaos. I don't know what's going on, but it's good to be with you. Maybe it's the anticipation of turkey tomorrow. I don't know. But without any further ado, I'm going to bring in my favorite turkey, my favorite co-host, my only co-host, my king, my Scotty J. Rowe. Scotty.
I love being your
Hi.
turkey. I love being your
You're
turkey.
welcome.
It means the world to me.
I can't wait to stuff you tomorrow.
I didn't do it the right way. Exactly. Stuff me in, inject me. I didn't. I wanted to say this now because I actually I foiled it earlier. But I'm very excited to debut something. Obviously, we're using a new streaming software. Some things we'll go over while we're talking with Adam this evening. But
this is like Jurassic Park, right?
Yes, it is.
And hopefully the streaming this doesn't eat the viewers. We'll
and
be
it
fine.
might.
Yeah.
And it might. It should
That's
look
a
different,
possibility.
obviously. You can see that there's a little bit more of a different approach in terms of comments and what you can see. So we're excited to debut this as well. But the reason why it's possible that we can do this is because of these people listed right here. And I want to say that one more time. If it was not for our patrons, we would not have been able to afford this new service. We'd always worked with Pete with StreamYard, and Pete decided to go with a different direction with ATG and streaming Star Wars in terms of streaming it and getting it out there to the people. And so we were like, well, let's branch off and do something different and unique. So we went through this application called Restream, and Restream has been great so far. I actually talked with their customer support team on the phone today. I need to give out a shout out to Bjorn and Sean for the two people that helped me get this whole thing running on such short notice. We only got this together in the last 2 days. So that being said, it's been a heck of an experience getting this thing together. But most importantly, I got to shout out to all these people here. We've got Trevor, Richie Rasputin, Preston Dugas, Buck O'Brien, Alden Diaz, David at K2S Bro, Trey Mitchell, Wesley Woods, Chase Hauser, Neil Lowry, Todd DeGrossier, Brian Hennessy, Infra Peak Milk, Michael McCoy, Brian Fry, Jeff Qualillo, Jared the Dark Jedi, Seth Parnell, Nick Milky, Rick Villanueva, and of course William Hardy. It's if it wasn't for these people, we would not be able to do what we do. And I can honestly, it's this covered the whole year subscription for this service. So their contributions have made us being able to do our show possible at this point. Without them, we probably wouldn't have had a show for a couple of weeks to kind of scrounge up. So thank y'all from the bottom of our heart. Thank y'all, because this is what it does. And it also got us this, Jerry. Bombad has had this same look thanks to Pete Fletcher for a while now. The BTB
a lot, yeah. It's nice, It's classic. It's classic.
Yes, there's a look to it. There's a vibe to it.
Yeah, and you got this VHS vibe.
And we're gonna elevate it to this. This is the new look. A little more colorful, a little bit more pop to it, a little bit thinner too. So we can do stuff like this. Watch
Sleek,
this. Do
modern.
stuff like this.
Look at this.
Whoa.
Hi, Scotty. How you doing down there?
Hi, Jerry. What's going on?
Look,
we can do stuff
like you're my belly button.
This, and you can see the background is also moving now too. Or stuff like this, which is pretty exciting. And we'll debut another one in a second. But I can also do that. I can swap them. So there's some movement now. It's pretty cool. But let's show off this as well. There's also a new thing we are excited to add to the spectrum of entertainment: moving background. So now you've got kind of look at that.
Oh,
man, how does that look? How does that look?
It's like the next evolution of Snake on your Nokia phone. it's insane. It's great.
Oh,
yeah, we got a lot of cool little in-picture stuff. Yeah.
And then chat's gonna love this. You may now be a part of the experience. So someone in the chat puts
the
something
whole
in there.
time.
So now we're able to actually have you fully contribute.
Go ahead,
be on
comment.
Screen. So make a little comment right now. Go ahead.
Say something, William. We know you want to.
Yes, and as well as being able to pull them up still, which we can do. It's kind of exciting that we can actually see your thoughts streamlined into this area. But all thanks to the patrons that obviously allowed us to have this experience and brought this to us. $7 a month. Look, here we go. Look, you can literally see it. Fart.
Here we go.
Oh shit. Will Bombad game be used? Yes, it will be using Restream as well. So very excited. This is
we're all Restream now. And go check out Restream. They're really cool people. They're really
good
cool
people.
So,
So
good
real
people
quick.
there.
$7 a month. We're letting Adam sit in the back for a minute now. Sorry, Adam. $7 a month. You get you all these things.
Enjoy the complimentary M&Ms. Yes,
that's right. Only brown M&Ms though. We also
can't
got
afford
shows
those
like
sexy green ones.
Nope. The Greatest Teacher, which is going to be a Joseph Campbell analysis show, exclusive to patrons. We also got Canon Junkie Quarter, $7 a month. It can get you all kinds of wonderful things. And look, I'm going to now delete the old overlay. Everyone say goodbye. Because we're in a new era of Bombad. Bye-bye, overlay.
Oh, no. New overlay. Oh,
permanent.
It's
permanent.
Forever.
All right, let's bring in our wonderful guest for this evening. He's actually, he's a wonderful writer. He's allowed us to be a part of some of his writings when he does write for Slash Film and also his own personal blogs. What's important about this guy is he actually did the Kenobi finale with us as well. So let's bring in the amazing Adam Frazier.
Who invited you here?
What's going on?
Oh, hello.
Oh, how's it going, Adam? You look very astute with your wall of DVDs and stuff back there. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. I had some time to browse them while I was waiting for all the plugs to get the.
I know. And for us to show off our little, like, look what we can do here. And this and that.
I put in Avatar and got halfway through it. I was just.
Good.
Wow. You got to get ready. Well, speaking of Avatar, we get a little product placement here.
Oh my God.
I just got back from the movies.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Adam, happy to have you here. Obviously,
thanks for having me.
It's a tradition now. We said it before the stream, but now it is fully a thing we're going to end up having to do for every finale of a show, even when the heavy ones, like I'm sure when we get Mando finales and stuff. So it's part of it. Yeah. There's no excuse now. Just know you're expected. This show, by the way, and I had some show notes typed up. This show has been something else for the most part. Obviously, it's been one of those ones, and this may be my only critique so far. It hasn't been the one that's left me energized for the rest of the day. You know what I mean? Like, you watch Mando, you're like, oh my God, like Ahsoka or Bo-Katan. You're like, what the whole your brain's on like 50 different levels.
Riding those crowds of joy. Those clouds of joy. Excuse me.
Clouds of joy. This is a little bit different. Adam, how have you enjoyed it? You been taking it in?
Yeah, it has been different. It's like The Mandalorian and even Obi-Wan to an extent. I think it appeals to, like, obviously the child in us, the child that grew up loving Star Wars, and it has all those elements from the super goofy aliens to the action adventure elements. Whereas this is much more of a I don't want to say it's cold, because I think by the time you go through the 12 episodes, it's definitely an emotional journey.
Oh yeah,
but it is a little more adult leaning, and it's inspiring in that way, I think, because it's sort of talking about very real things that are happening right now. But at the same time, there isn't like Danny Trejo delivering a rancor to someone.
Exactly.
So it's a little different. It's a little different.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
It's got less Muppet movie style cameos.
Yes.
I guess kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, I would like the Hutt twins to show up for Diego's sake, but
yeah.
That's the thing with the show.
They're rodent sweat rags. Yes, absolutely.
It's like, Star Wars obviously has been such a new Star Wars, I should say, has been such a different experience in the sense of like getting different themes and different lessons. But this show has been very straightforward in its lessons. And like, we kind of all went in, with a certain perspective. We knew the Empire was bad, and they are the evil Galactic Empire, like they say in the opening crawl. Like, yes, sure. But like, we never got to see that evil painted so straightforward until this show. And like,
so real world.
God.
Like evil. Just like absolutely uncomfortably real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's good. It should make you feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I think in part to most of the times when we're watching something that's Star Wars, there is a lead villain that is super ruthless or conniving, or however you want to describe them, but they're typically surrounded by idiots and lackeys, like from Hux being sort of a complete joke in the sequology,
Yeah.
and
Right. Right.
Vader choking guys left and right. Whereas here, the villains that we're introduced to, like Dedra Meero and Cyril Karn, they are all like extremely threatening, because they are backed by the power of belief. They believe that they're doing the right thing, being a part of it, which I'm not sure we've really seen explored too much in other Star Wars stories beyond characters like Palpatine and Vader and Thrawn.
Exactly. And with Thrawn, it kind of glamorizes the Imperial experience, and like this show has been the first where like you kind of see the nitty gritty of what goes on behind the scenes, the ear torment, the sound torment moment. Like there's just like some
that still haunts
brutal
me.
moments. Yeah.
To this day, I still have nightmares about what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
man.
to watch like the prison experience and the Imperial prison facility. Like there's just these things that this show obviously did on a different level that I deeply and truly I felt impacted by, but also wasn't expecting, and it takes a lot for Star Wars fans to feel like they got, they hit it out of left field. You know what I mean? Like to like get something so unexpected and heavy and obviously very straightforward lessons in this show. I can't believe it. Like you kind of have to dig a little bit with Mando or even Rebels, some lessons are straightforward, but this is like in your face. These people are bad. There is no gray.
Yeah.
You may have thought there's a gray area, but you need to get rid of that thinking. That thinking is out of the picture.
Everyone's favorite word when it comes to Star Wars, politics, things like that. People like to think that it's not political, things like that. And honestly, even I don't even like the word political because I don't think human rights should be a matter of like politics. You know what I mean? Like human rights are human rights. But Star Wars has always been political, but you've always had that little bit of escapism.
Yeah.
Whereas it's almost like not, and this isn't a detriment to this show, but you took the escapism out. I don't feel like I'm escaping the real world. I feel like I am watching a treatise on why it's important to keep your leaders in check, to keep your, to keep like the people who have power, to make sure that they know you're serving the people and you need to make sure that you are doing what's best for everyone. And this show is just, it's like I said, less escapism, more reminder, and more just every week going a triumphant like fist in the air.
Yeah, it's
inspiring.
absolutely it's not escapism, it's like a call to arms, really.
Yes.
And I was telling this to our friend Chase earlier in the DMs, but watching this episode made me want to get off the couch and fight these bastards for real. Like it really
yes
awakened something in me that was like, we need to be doing something. Like, and it's speech. So cool. And Marva's speech. It's like when we're kids growing up with Star Wars was made for kids, really. And George took a lot of big ideas and distilled them down and made them easily digestible for kids, good and evil, things like that, morality tales. And, all the kids that grew up with Star Wars and loving it, they're adults now and they still need to be inspired by something. And I think this show is really inspiring for people our age now that we've grown up with Star Wars. It's been a part of our lives forever. And, maybe we do need more than just lightsabers now. Maybe we do need something that can carry us on in day-to-day life with what we're dealing with right now. and we'll probably continue to deal with. So it's and I was too, like season 2 will premiere in 2024. If it sticks to the same release window it's in now, it's going to be happening during the 2024 elections. As much as this show has had to say about things, like I am just like excited and terrified by what could possibly be waiting for us in season 2. So
that I mean, whatever kind of hellscape Twitter is going to be at that time is going to be fun. During
if it
that,
even
for
exists,
sure. Those of us
we're
who
gonna
are
get
still
wild
there,
on
being the
Hive.
quote unquote. We're gonna be wilding out on Hive for real. Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of these shows where, like, at least I felt like I went in with a certain perspective, and when I came out of it, it was very different. And like, there wasn't so much of the mythical storytelling, which is what I love about Star Wars. I love the monomyth and the Joseph Campbell approach. There was some very small moments of that in a much different way. And like, I'm never going to be the person to be like, this is better. Mandalorian should follow this. I don't think it could. Like, they're two different approaches to Star Wars. And I'm very happy with what we got with Andor. But like y'all said, I'm kind of looking forward to maybe watching Bad Batch on Wednesday mornings going, whoo, the gang did it. They're okay. You know what I mean? Like, I just, every episode of Andor, I was like, oh man. And even with this one, and I guess we could speak to that. This one kind of left on a note I didn't expect. None of our main supporting characters died. I mean, like, maybe one, but like,
Well, the guy who answered the phones, who was really cool.
That's it. Yeah.
But that was
Zan.
I was bummed. Zan, yeah. Oh,
yes.
I was so sad. What's his little coworker gonna do now? Like I'm wondering about that. So anyway,
well, that's the thing. What happens to Ferrix? I mean, there's a lot of this show kind of wrapped up like I guess not really a season finale would normally wrap up, where you can I mean, there's some things left untied, but like there's other things that, like, we know Ferrix obviously had an uprising. We don't know what's going to happen after. We don't know if Ferrix is liberated or if they're going to have a more imperial presence. Like, what's the planet from Rebels? Lothal. Yeah. So like, will we get that? I'm so excited to see where this show's going to go. But is there any big moments you wanted to highlight from this episode? Was there some things? Because I know Adam has a whole script written out.
Well,
and it's good.
I was lucky enough to get press screeners for this, and so I watched the episode 3 times because that's how many times we were allowed to watch it before it expired. And on the last go around, I just basically transcribed almost the whole episode because I was so blown away with the writing and the dialogue, especially. And so,
I'm gonna get it shared if you don't mind, Adam. I'm gonna pull it up on screen so we can kind of read through it as well.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, I mean, obviously Marva's speech at the funeral sticks out. I think it's one of the most powerful scenes in all of Star Wars. And getting to hear some of those excerpts from Nemec's journal was fantastic as well. So,
nice to know that he has it on Audible as well.
Yes,
like
an Audible version.
Pretty good. Audible exists in universe. So
yeah,
no, it's one of those moments where as soon as that Nemec speech starts, I mean, you're already like the tears are starting to stream down your face, and you're getting ready to get off the couch and go grab a brick.
Yeah, for sure.
Please continue, Adam. Yeah. Sorry.
No, those really stuck out to me, and I also really enjoyed the scene with Mon Mothma and Perrin, in which we are starting to play the game that Luthen plays, that Palpatine plays, this her manipulator type game in which she's gonna, pin these financial troubles on Perrin's gambling, and we get a nice little reference to Canobite as a cherry on top. Which
very nice.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that we heard all this stuff about no fan service and yada yada yada, but like the past 2 episodes have been chock full of just Star Wars craziness. We got 2 crazy ass aliens fishing.
Oh my god!
With like gross spider web nets or
The-
whatever the hell was
The
going on
Garbage
there.
Pail Kid. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. God.
We got a ship doing Anakin Skywalker spins with lightsabers coming out of the side of it. You know, like it's been a wild ride for sure.
It's
so
the pretty
The Batmobile
bonkers.
in space is all that is. That's all that is.
But yeah, I don't know if you're going to sort of take it step or what stuck out to you.
Well, okay, so when I sat down to watch this, I knew something was going to go down in terms of, like, you see in the trailers. I knew we would see obviously an uprising of some sort. It would be a pretty brutal experience for the most part. I thought more people would die. I even thought Luthien would die. I didn't think Luthien would even be there. I just thought something would happen to him to cause him to die. But all that being said, I mean, you've written it so eloquently here. Because you've had some time to digest it. But the name of it alone, Rick's Road, I was like, okay, this is like American Revolution stuff. Like,
and man, yeah, and hearing the Andor theme as the funeral march, like over the credits, like just sets a mood immediately for what you're about to experience. You know,
I agree,
absolutely.
And I love. I was just going to say, I love the sort of the parallels between the Willman character and Cassian, in which, you know, both of their fathers are hanged by the Empire. You know, they're made an example of. And Willman kind of is building this bomb at the beginning of the episode while a hologram of his father watches over him. You know, it's just like incredible stuff. And they've really been saving the hologram stuff, it seems, for this episode. We've got a lot of interactions throughout the series where people are talking to each other like over screens and stuff, and we haven't really seen the holograms until this episode, and it's pretty clear why, because that scene, like 50-foot tall Marva, is so powerful in that moment.
It works so well. It works so well.
It was just like, I mean, honestly, when it first started, my brain immediately, of course, because I'm a fucking nerd with canon junkie. You know, I was like, oh, it's just like in Clone Wars where the king of oh man, I'm such a good canon junkie. I forget the name of the planet, but like, but it's just like where Saw's from. But anyway, I loved 50-foot tall Marva, like Attack of the 50-foot Marva. Oh my god,
yes,
it was so good.
I
wanted
also
to go around like just saying that speech all day, even though all my friends had not seen that. They haven't seen the episode yet. You know, it's hard.
And also, you know, the very smart decision not to show us Marva's death in the previous episode, and then give us the hologram moment, and also Brasso talking to Cassian in the tunnels, like delivering that final message from Marva, which is so another incredible moment in the episode. So just like some of the best storytelling in Star Wars, and that's not a knock at all on George or Filoni and Favreau or anything. It's just like the themes are so clear and the threads are so clear, and everything is executed flawlessly. Even like this Nurchi guy who we saw in maybe the first or second episode, I can't remember, and Andor him money, and we got the impression, really, that's kind of weird, like to back into the mix here, and he's trying to get information so he can run and snitch on Andor to the Imperials. It was like, wow, they just like closed that thread up here. Like I wasn't expecting.
You
know? But every step of
as we learned, snitches get shrapnel.
Introduced,
Sorry about that.
That's true.
Yes, yes.
It was one of these. I don't know.
Just
you take. I think the connection went away for a second, Adam. I think we
got a little bit of a lag there. We're good. Let's see.
Now it's back. It's good. I was really impressed that, you know, we got our first, you know, even more awkward love scene in this, more than the Padme and Anakin moment, where we got Cyril Karn and Deidre going into that little room together, when I surely thought she was going to get ripped to shreds. I thought she was going to get ripped apart. I was kind of hoping, I was hoping we'd get some like brutalist Tarantino, like you earned this, like you went through this, you made this possible, and like nope, not the case. That was that was weird, like mayonnaise almost kissing. That was awful.
It was the most uncomfortable
it was that
like,
imagery
relationship in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that imagery of like from zombie movies and other things like that, where it's like these people are crawling over her, and you just think like, yeah, she's going to get torn apart. And for Serial Boy to come in there and save her, and then the very like awkward, I should say thank you, you don't have to, kind of in the back room, and lots of quivering lips, and
it's
like
so gross.
I'm wondering with them if because the way that season 2 is going to is that we're jumping every 3 episodes, right? So like every time a block finishes, the characters are going to be in a completely different place than where they were before that. And I just feel like, I guess we're going to see Miro and Karn sort of rise up the ranks together, maybe as a couple, but I feel like ultimately Miro is going to like stab Karn in the back at some point, like, because it not that it's the rule of 2, but like that sort of process in the Empire, that there's only room at the top, there's only so many admirals and moffs and whatever, and so I see them turning each other at some point.
They probably will.
Absolutely.
And like the fact that they didn't listen, the actual Imperials, it's so funny. Like they could have figured out Axis a lot quicker. That a lot of these things, it's such their arrogance. The fact that they didn't, they killed what was the pirate's name, Jerry? They killed
they killed Anto Krieger.
Krieger. I love it. I love it. I am so glad they killed him, because like it wouldn't have led them the certain direction. Like you should have captured him. That's what Deidre says. And like, that was not an option. I'm like, oh my God, we wanted to wipe the taste of Aldani out of the Emperor's mouth. I was like,
that's the whole thing. Yeah, today was about wiping that out of the Emperor's mouth, which is so. The way these people, the terminology they use is like so disgusting and everything. Just like they're like sitting there licking the. Does Palpatine even wear boots? I don't think I think he wears like some form of Toms, but like evil Toms. Like you buy a pair and they take away a pair from someone or something. But yeah, no, like just the way they lick the bottom of his. Yeah, right. But it's disgusting. Absolutely, it's like disgusting. And we've never seen, I think this is the best that they've ever portrayed the arrogance of the Empire in like a realistic way.
Yes.
Like it's their downfall.
Well, what caused the whole shit in the first place was those two security officers not being where they were supposed to be, and they happen to be in like a brothel. Like it's like all these things, like it's like you said, Jerry, perfectly said. It's the arrogance.
Right.
It is the deep arrogance that happened that led them to this full, I guess, uprising on Ferrix. And like, I don't know, I've been tickled with like the response of this show, like obviously it's gained a reputable response. Apparently Tony Gilroy does spend some time on Twitter and scrolls through people's reviews and I guess recaps of it. And like, I don't know, I'm eager to hear his full thoughts now that the season's over, and once the show will be over, inevitably those thoughts as well, because they finally started dropping the actors. Like they dropped whose was it today? They dropped who plays Luthien? My blank right now.
Oh, Stellan Skarsgård.
Yes. They dropped an audio or a video of him talking about the role. I'm like, I want more of that. Like, I can't wait to get more of that now that the season's over. And I'm looking forward to the gallery or whatever BTS comes of this show, because it has felt more grounded. It has felt more real. It's felt more tangible. Like to see them walking up the streets of Ferrix, and that was a real set. There's leaked photos. That was a real set of real buildings they built for that season. Like it, that I'm excited to see how that plays out and how they develop some of these ideas. I don't know. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot to digest.
And I think, like you were mentioning earlier, like you were mentioning with the people who everyone who survived, it's like we're going to see them again in season 2 to see what happens. Andor, are they going to get more involved in? Is he try to keep them out of the? You save characters now so you can kill them later and make it even more meaningful and even more heartbreaking. So I feel like, not that all of their days are numbered, but I think, especially for like B2 Emo, I think we've all sort of had the thought that maybe he's related to K2SO in some way, that maybe his programming might be put in K2 or something like that. So it's going to be interesting to see some of these side characters that maybe at the outset we didn't really think they were going to be that important. Now they're really stepping into, because if you look at that, like the people that got off on that ship, that's like almost like a Rebels-esque crew, like Brasso.
Yes.
Guy, like you have a droid, you have a heroine, like an older character, you have a younger, like kind of teenage aged character. So like you could do an animated series of that, and I would watch the crap out of it. So,
oh yeah, if my boy B2 Emo is there, I'm there. I mean, come on, like that's no. I mean, all of them though. I was thinking the same thing though, Adam, because it just feels like they're setting. I mean, imagine Brasso in the rebellion. Like imagine, because they don't have to die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we always go, because we don't see them, so obviously they're dead.
Yeah.
But like like people, that's like when a parent walks out from an infant's room, it's like they think they just don't exist anymore. Like that's exactly like it's fine. They could still be out there. I couldn't stop thinking about that. Like, what about Brasso or anything? Like his only weapon he carries is a brick or something or whatever. He just carries that Marva brick anywhere he goes. Smacks the crap. How awesome was it? They actually used the brick to smack us.
I did
incredible. Exactly what Marva wanted. Like,
she's like,
use me, weapon against these bastards. Yeah, that's
look, I'm gonna actually get that pulled up so we can read through it.
That speech,
that speech. God, where's it at? And it is. God,
how does this show? How does this show keep doing these monologues? How did they come up with so many monologues that are instantly incredible?
God, I'll read it if y'all don't mind.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Go
My
for
name
it.
is Marva Karasi
Yeah,
Andor. I'm honored to stand before you. I'm honored to be a daughter of Ferrix and honored to be worthy of the stone. Strange. I feel as if I can see it. I was 6, I think, the first time I touched a funerary stone. Okay, so that first little line instantly made me think of Cassian. I was 6.
I
wonder if that was
I
think maybe that was deliberate. I think that
I feel like it might be because so many people, like you said, like he kind of apparently pays attention. A lot of people quote that I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old, right? Kind of a thing. Like that's like a meme. And like I feel like it. If anything, maybe it's not any like. If anything, maybe it's just like a hey, wink, wink, nod, nod. We see you. Here, this is going to make the nerds go.
yes.
But still, it's it's just deeper. If you want to look deeper, it's a connection to his mother, to his adopted mother. It's this. We've been in this for a long time. We've been doing this for a long time. So,
and she's been fighting it. And this next line is maybe one of my favorites. This is the one I could speak to the most. And I don't mean to bring up my culture, but where I'm from, Louisiana, I mean, we've obviously got very unique sense of culture where we're at. Like I do get kind of emotional when I hear like authentic, second line or jazz music on Bourbon Street. Like I like that really hits. Like to heard our music and felt our history. Like I will be walking through, the French Quarter, New Orleans. I mean, or wherever, New Orleans. And like if you hear a band play, you're just like, man, this is where it began for this genre and approach to music. And I bring it up because I mean, Ferrix Ferrix has maybe some of the best anthropological, I guess, approach to Star Wars, second to like Naboo and Tatooine. Like it is
Oh
laid
yeah.
out for you. They have the timekeeper. There's so many cultural things that this show wanted to do with that area that worked really well. I think I appreciate that the most from it. It allowed you to dive into their culture and their work culture, but they also have, people they look up to, and Marva's one of them. I mean, I fell in love with that.
And I mean, they made the culture made it feel so visceral, so real, but also just the fact that, and people, this is not a genuine idea from me. This is just something I've seen people talk about, and I mean, you see it in the show. The community becomes a character, right? And it is an absolute. It's the perfect representation of what a community that looks out for each other is and should be, like what a community should be, like looking out for the people who matter, looking out for, it's just, I don't know. Ferrix is just, I didn't go into this expecting to really just be in love with a town or a city, or I'm sorry, a planet. Ferrix is the planet, right? Just like here we are now. I'm all about bricks. It's
Sky and
great.
stone.
Sky and oh my god, that was chills, absolute chills when the chant starts.
Yeah, that alone felt very Joseph Campbell, like that. That approach to like Sky and Stone, which is essentially what it is. That's the town's based on. They manufacture everything, and like this line's great right here. Holding my sister's hands as we walked all the way from Fountain Square, where you stand now. I've been more times than I can remember. I'm like, God, like she grew up in this, and like these people are very much in love with where they're from. I don't know. I got it. It hits. It really hits, especially if you live. I know, Jerry, you've moved from Arkansas, and Adam, I don't know where you're from originally. I don't know if you're from where you live now.
I am from Virginia, and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina now. So
okay, so it's like that return to home feeling where like it's God, it's so surreal. Like I still live where I grew up, but like I don't know, it's such a weird approach, but like she obviously felt the same exact way about where she was. It's just oh God, it's good. Adam, can you speak to any of this? Is anything you want to bring from that first little stanza? Because there's like there's so much from this speech that
it's meaty.
It's so much. I will say that the next part here, the I always wanted to be lifted. I think that's just incredible because that's really how I just feel. And maybe why I connect so much with stories and movies, and specifically Star Wars, is that I grew up in to talk about where we grew up. I grew up in a single wide trailer in the Appalachian Mountains. And when I saw Luke Skywalker, I thought, that's me. This kid lives like nowhere. There's nothing around him. And he spends all of his time dreaming about leaving and going off and doing something with his life. And so that statement of like always wanting to be lifted and always waiting to be inspired, like that's sort of the story of my life with Star Wars. And so to hear a character say that on screen, whereas I think I always felt that way about Luke and the other protagonists of the series, but here's a character who is older, who didn't perhaps answer the call to adventure, to use the Joseph Campbell methodology there. But this is someone at the end of their life looking back and wishing that they would have done something, and they spend all this time waiting to be inspired. But what she's realizing in this speech is that this may actually be what this has all been leading to like lift others up, and to Marissa, my partner, was saying this earlier when we rewatched the episode. It's like, not only is she like this brick that is used to hit fascists, but like she's one of the building blocks of the rebellion. She literally becomes a building block of the rebellion. And so it's just like extremely powerful to me, and just so well conceived and so well executed. But I yearn to lift you, not because I want to shine or even be remembered. It's because I want you to go on. I mean, that is just some powerful, powerful stuff.
It felt like that scene in WandaVision where Vision says, what's the exact quote? It's a great quote. It's damn it, it's about grief. It's
I'm
about
trying to say like I'm
it,
trying
it
to
had
remember
that
as
same
well
feeling.
Like love
without crying.
persisting or something like
Yes,
that.
yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that if not love yeah, persisting. But the reason I say it's because
What is
I
grief
want
but love persisting? Yeah.
that's exactly it. I want you to go on. Like that is so it's so specific and you can tell it's so inspirational to everyone. It literally causes them to have an uprising. But like I want Ferguson, in my waning hours that comforts me the most, but I fear for you. That twist, I wasn't expecting the twist of like, I knew it was going to be uplifting. I knew she was going to be inspiring, but it's the twist where she's like, but we've all made a mistake. And I'm like, oh God, she's right.
Yeah.
She's right. That's all of us. That's all of us. That's human nature. That's what we're going through right now, and what humans will always go through.
Yeah.
God,
Right. Well,
And like,
it is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and like the fight is over for her. Like
Yeah.
she's gone, and what's left, like that's what she fears is like this is only going to get worse, and eventually something's going to have to give here. And so I loved the shots of the people looking up at her. Like
Yes.
Wilmon and Brasso and stuff with tears
Yes.
in their eyes and the music swelling. I mean, it just like conveyed so much emotion in these moments.
I agree.
Well, and the whole imagery of I wanted to be lifted, and now I want to lift you. It feels like they're looking up to be lifted where she is, right? Like to be like God, yeah, absolutely incredible. But just man, when it starts to take that turn, Scotty, you're talking about
Yep.
again, and like
That
again, very
movement.
real world of like it feels like for some people it feels like like we've been sleeping and now there's a lot of stuff has always been wrong. But we fell asleep and we
Yep.
shouldn't have. But here we are. What are we going to do about it? Just absolutely powerful, something, a thought to take with you in these times that we live in now that are very divisive and uncertain, right? Was it here? Like, if you don't mind, I'll we've had each other. We've had each other in Ferrix, our work, our days. We had each other, and they left us alone. We kept the trade lanes open, and they left us alone. Oh God, I'm getting chills just reading. We took their money and ignored them. We kept their engines turning, and the moment they pulled away, we forgot them because we had each other. We had Ferrix, but we were sleeping. I've been sleeping, and I've been turning away from the truth I wanted not to face.
Jesus Christ.
That's like this honestly hits me in the brick with a face because it's like it takes a lot of courage to stand against anything.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of courage to stand up and because oftentimes you have to step out of what's not comfortable, or you have to step away from what you've known your whole life.
Yeah,
there's a possibility you might lose something.
So I want to bring this up.
It's hard to face. It is hard to face.
I was on Brian Barry's. I was on Pink Milk earlier. This is a little
Brian.
drop in. They had a little call-in show, and Brian let me come in, which was great. And Buck was there, and Buck made up an amazing point. And we discussed this for a second. This show is crucial for kids, and I know that might not feel that way. Not kids, I would say, but crucial for like teenagers and like young adults. Like it's
growing up.
Yes. Yeah. It's not like you have to and she says it very clearly here. It's not like she's making everyone stand up to authority. What she's saying is be more aware. We were sleeping. And this is the worst part. We kept the trailers open and they left us alone. We took their money and ignored them. We kept their engines turning, and the moment they pulled away, we forgot them. That's the most brutal part, is because you can zoom out and see that everything's still okay until it's not. Until a turning away from the truth I wanted not to face. Like, bruh, like, God, the writing.
And I think the other thing the writing is doing is I won't speak for the entire fandom, but I think a lot of us were so passionate about Star Wars. We've grown up with it. We've watched it a million times. Like these words that are written here, we already felt this way about Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like we've
Yeah.
analyzed the characters so much and the struggles so much that this is how we think about Star Wars. But I don't think anyone has actually took that and said it out loud to the rest of the world in a way. You know, because there's people that are like, oh, you're into Star Wars, like the casual element, like, oh, I like Star Wars, but I'm not like crazy about it or whatever, you know, like, but this really, I think, speaks to what we see in Star Wars and what we connect with, especially, you know, there is a wound that won't heal at the center of the galaxy. You know, these are things that can be applied to
That's when I
almost
teared up.
anything in your life. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and a beautiful thing here, this line, there is a darkness reaching out like rust into everything around us. And earlier in the episode, we get a flashback with Andor's father, adoptive father,
Yes.
Clem, where he's cleaning these parts, and he does say something to him like, most people don't look past the rust, you know. And so this is like an interesting callback to that and tying it into people being sleeping or whatever. When they see rust, they just want to throw it away and buy something new. They don't want to take the time to repair it and understand what went wrong with it.
Do the work.
The other great line of that is, if you put it in, it's you can't put it in too long or too little. It's going to be just right. And like it had to be just right for all these threads to come together for Ferrix to stand up. Like you can look at it that way. Like the conditions we were under, the fact that even Deidre was there, like all these things were right. And the fact, and this is the best part too, we didn't even mention this, the fact that they had their own mini rebellion and started it on the time they were supposed to start it. So the Empire wasn't even ready.
Yeah.
They weren't even ready. And it's what Marvel would have done. It just makes sense. Oh God, that was good. That was a great moment.
We let it grow, and now it's here. It's here, and it's not visiting anymore, which I loved because it wants to stay. You know, it's just incredible, incredible, right?
Also a fantastic performance by her.
Absolutely, she killed it.
The delivery, the way she says it wants to stay, is so earnest.
Yeah,
and it goes to that shot on the Imperial officer that ended up.
She's starting to lose her breath at this point as well in the speech, right? Because she was having trouble breathing anyway. It's
funny because at this point, I feel like the Empire doesn't know what they're referring to. And I like the people, the actual Imperials are like, what is she talking about?
They're like, it's literally like the one person I saw that was like, yo, we should watch Andor because it's not political at all. It's just gritty like we wanted. I literally saw one person say that it's those people who are like, Star Wars isn't political. It's like, you know, they're sitting there watching.
Yep.
You know, go like, what's she talking about? You know, this is kind of really depressing.
It was literally
a really depressing speech.
It was literally are we the baddies moment? Like the Empire was around like, hey, wait a second.
We're the bad
She
guys.
talking about us?
Oh shit, we make baby handcuffs, don't we? Oh no.
This line, man, Adam, you can keep going because this is the line. This part's amazing.
Please.
The Empire is a disease that thrives in darkness. It is never more alive than when we sleep. Now, the thing that I loved about this moment is it cuts to Luthen, right? And Luthen is in the crowd watching this, and he doesn't say a word. There's just a very like small facial gesture, but like when you go back and watch that scene, there's this realization on Luthen's face that, oh my God, I came here to kill Andor. And now I'm listening to this speech from his mother, who has no doubt instilled this stuff into her son.
Yeah.
And he's seen it firsthand. You know, the other thing about Luthen is, from what we've seen, he's never around when stuff goes down, right? He's the orchestrator, but he never sees it up close and personal. And here he sees like people in the streets fighting the Empire. And it is maybe a little taste of that sunset that he'll never see, you know, that like, there are people inspiring change here. And yeah, I love that scene so much because it's this, it's this realization to Luthen, you know, later when Andor confronts him, and says, either kill me or take me in, which was another just
yeah.
what a line to leave on. And then Luthen just smiles. It's like he did it. Like he found another person that's in this fight the way he's in it,
Right. Well, I thought back to that whole speech between him and Lonnie in the elevator in Coruscant.
Oh my God.
I need all the heroes I can get.
Oh, incredible.
And it's like he's finally realizing, like, okay, no, I need this guy. I need him. Clearly.
Yeah.
But just the part that I can't get out of my head is this next, but like just I don't know, every inch of this speech is just so good. And not to take the best part of the speech at all. I don't want to, but I will. It's easy for the dead to tell you to fight. I loved this because this is just a great speech. It's great speech, right?
Yes.
It's easy for the dead to tell you to fight. Maybe it's true. Maybe fighting is useless. Perhaps it's too late. And this is the part I've been wanting to scream from the top of my lungs everywhere I've gone today. But I'll tell you this I want to get this tattooed on my shoulders. My God. But I'll tell you this. If I could do it again, I'd wake up early and be fighting these bastards from the start. Fight the Empire. The dude before that, even though the dude goes and tries to like throw the coat over it, just gets halfway. It's just like the fight the Empire. Oh my! It
was the buildup. It was the tension, the moment. You can tell the Empire's about to get
crescendo.
overthrown. Yeah, and it's one of the best ones in Star Wars.
That whole sequence is perfectly orchestrated, and in a weird way, it reminded me a lot of the beginning of Return of the Jedi, because you're moving. You've introduced all these characters, and now they're all converging on this one place.
Ooh, like the lightsaber moment,
right? And it's like there's like. Even Marva popping up out of the droid, like the lightsaber popping up out of R2 in a way. It's like
nice, Adam.
It's so cool to see all these characters now together and seeing how they're going to play off each other if they even know each other are there. It's like Luthen is probably like 5 feet away from Cyril at one point, and neither of them really know who they are. It's just incredible. Like everybody's looking for Cassian. No one during that whole encounter finds him. Until he's like got Bix and he's on the way out.
Oh, it's so good.
And in the same way, everyone's looking for Axis and he's right there under their noses and nobody find him either.
They were literally, he was looking right at them and at some points and everything. They're like, we got to find Axis. It's just, there he is right there, man.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, this leads to one of the, it felt like one of the best revolutions we've ever seen. And it felt, and I posted on Twitter, it felt like that image of the American Revolution of everyone playing the instruments and walking into battle. Like that's what it evoked in me. And I'm like, man, we've, and you think about our history as a nation, we've come so far from it. Like, that was George's main themes. Like if you can fight the Empire with sticks and stones as Ewoks, then anyone can fight the Empire, and it's ultimately about how certain places become empires, certain republics become imperial at one point, and like no matter who the leader is, it could happen. And like watching this, it was just, God, it was brutal. And like this part you wrote right here, which was the hard part for me to watch, when they kicked B2 Emo. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was he saying Stone and Sky as well? Was he saying? I think he was saying it.
I'd have to rewatch, but
because that was,
it wouldn't surprise
hurting. Me. That was hurting me. But when they kicked that droid over, that's when I started to tear up. I'm like, dude, you cannot hurt that.
That's when I went to find my brick under my couch or something. I keep talking about. I'm all about bricks now.
Yeah. But you're like Ben Folds.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
That's
exactly.
Oh, that's amazing.
There's also that great little bit in the leading up to the speech where they've been marching through the streets. They're coming from different streets and they're converging into one sort of mass of people. And then everything stops and the music stops. And then B2 Emo makes that little chirp like, brr, and then the upswell of like the lift, the uplifting music starts. And then they all start marching in unison. It was just like so well done. I just can't get over it.
Yeah. It's you. Yeah. You're like, oh man, I don't think I've ever, and maybe it's because it could be because it's Star Wars. I don't know. I don't want to say that, but like, I don't think I've ever watched such a a masterful build, you
Yeah.
know, to a moment. This was every inch of this was earned. There was no there was not a centimeter of wasted space, right? And just I don't know, like that every single hit, I don't know, it feels like almost a musical like piece and everything, you
Yeah.
know, like you hit the it's the Hall of the Mountain King or whatever. I'm saying things wrong. Anyway, just like that slow build, boom, boom. We're in this now. We're in it, and it just
Just
I don't know.
deliberate
Yeah.
and confident at every single
Mhm.
decision that it
Oh,
makes, and it
huge
knows
swings.
exactly where it's going at all times. And I think it may require patience up front, you know.
Oh yeah,
But the payoff is just so incredible. Just that you know, we've used the term slow burn a lot to describe
Yeah.
this show. But it's like, yeah, that slow burn, and then this was the powder keg going off. You know, Willman throwing
right.
that bomb and setting off a bunch of grenades and making a bigger explosion was kind
That was
of
great.
that was making 10 men feel like 100, you know, like that's
Mm-hmm.
sort of
Right, right.
and it also echoed that moment in Rogue One where Cassian is talking to Jin when they're on Jeddah, and he's like, "This city's about to blow," you know, because
Yep.
he's seen it. He's been on Ferrix. He's seen this before, and he knows that, you know, stuff's going to go down here.
God.
Maybe we should scroll up and also hit on Nemec's
Oh yes.
excerpt because man,
okay, so they need to release just his manifesto as a little, like one of those little books, like, you know, be more Yoda, be more Nemec, please give me a be more Nemec.
like daily affirmations with Nemec. Yeah.
Right. But Scotty, you know, you were saying the thing about, like, you know, how fascist, you know, empires can rise from wherever, you know, was kind of George's point. But like, I love the way he talks about how it's not natural. Like you have to, like, it like the way that, because I've never really thought about it like that. It's like, I love what Kenobi did for me, is it made me think about the Force in a different way, just from that one exchange between him and Leia, when he says, you know, like, how do you feel when you turn the light on? I feel safe. That's how it feels. It's the same with this. What is it? Where was it? Let me see here.
There's a second line too.
The second line. The Imperial need for control is so desperate because it is so unnatural. Tyranny requires constant effort. It breaks. It leaks. Authority is brittle. Oppression is the mask of fear. Remember that. And know this: the day will come when all these skirmishes and battles and these moments of defiance will have flooded the banks of the Empire's authority, and then there will be one too many. One single thing will break the siege. Remember this. Try.
God.
What can you even say? What can you say? This podcast is just going to be us reading these things, because it's just, that's all. It's that powerful on its own.
This idea of one single thing, like this whole season, we've seen these very small singular events slowly adding up to something big on both sides. You know, like we've seen Dedra Miro, one person who is obsessed with tracking down Axis, is now starting to turn people around in the ISB and have them considering that the rebellion is a serious threat that they should look into, right? Cassian, a singular person who gets drawn into this bigger conflict. And even down to like in the prison, you know, like all these prisoners making these little parts, these singular little harmless parts that are going to build a death machine that's actually going to kill Cassian as well.
Right.
The thing he built is going to destroy him, you know? Just all these little singular moments adding up to bigger things, and to pay it off with this idea that one single thing will break the siege, you know, whether that's stealing the Death Star plans, the tiny one little flaw that Galen Erso puts in the Death Star, right? One single manned fighter taking down the Death Star, you know, it's just incredible. I mean, it's just it's so good.
It is so
good night,
good.
Brian. Thanks for stopping by.
And I also sort of like this idea of maybe challenging Yoda. I mean,
Yep.
try,
Yeah.
right? It's do or do not works great for Jedi. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
when you've got superpowers and you've got destiny on your side. Do
Sure.
or do not is a great motto. But for
Right.
people in the streets who are suffering from this sort of oppression, trying is an extension of hope. Trying is being hopeful that you can
Yeah.
change something. And like that's what this whole series has been about is rebellions are built on hope. We're seeing those sort of the
Mhm.
underlying themes of Rogue One being established here.
Oh yeah.
God. This is a cool mention right up here. Freedom is a pure idea. That's a great line. Because it is. As much as you want to fascinate on the true concept of freedom, it's pure. That's what makes it so nice.
Yeah,
Everything else is so harsh.
and the
next
smallest
part-
act. I was
Oh,
just
yeah,
going to say the smallest act of insurrection pushes our lines forward. That's the idea that Nemec is preaching
Exactly.
there. That trying itself is a victory in the face of this sort of oppression.
Well, look what Aldani did when they stole this stuff from Aldani. It was like all over the
Yeah.
news that it even happened. I bet the prison break is not going to be mentioned because in the prison they
That's
obviously
the
don't
kind
know
of stuff you
exists.
keep under wraps in a country like this. I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry.
That'll
in
be
space,
another-
in space.
That'll be another mining disaster or something.
Yep. Well, I
Right.
wonder one
Ugh.
thing I'm looking forward to this next season, and actually kind of not that we need to wrap up right here, but I kind of wanted to go to this last thing you wrote, which is so well done. You mentioned the fact of what we can expect from season. And or I guess not really what we expect, but what we've been told, because we were all at Celebration, and Tony Gilroy straight up walked out on that stage, and he said to us that the every 3-episode arc next season is going to be a year in Cassian's life, and I'm just, how are they going to pull that off? You're right, we got 2 years to wait, but damn,
Yeah. I just man. You have to start wondering, who's going to start showing up,
yeah,
because we were not that it was like messaging from the company, but like when Force Awakens came out and the messaging was just over and over again, real sets, practical effects.
Yeah.
It felt like Tony Gilroy was really sort of stepping out here and saying, this isn't fan service. This is something more adult or what have you. But he also said recently that season 2 is going to have to deal with some of these legacy characters just by the nature of where these stories are taking place. And so as we keep jumping years forward, some of these events are going to overlap with things from like Rebels. And so, they've already dropped a couple of lines about the Gormans in this show, and we know that the Gorman massacre in Rebels was the thing that made Mon Mothma like basically denounce Palpatine publicly and let the whole galaxy know that she was a rebel. And so, are we going to see that? You got to think we will.
Oh my God, we're going to see that speech in live action, aren't we?
Right, right, because it was like a hologram in Rebels. So like, and I'm not asking for a cameo fest or anything like that, but I think it's something that you have to face is like, hey, at some point, Bail Organa, some of these characters might, maybe a young Leia. I have no idea, but there's plenty of room, I think, to explore some of these connections. And I'm just so excited to see where these characters go. You have to think too. Like someone like Luthen, he's going to have to go down in season 2. Obviously, he's not around for Rogue One or anything. And so will that be like Dedra Miro and Cyril Karn's big victory is bringing down Luthen? But in doing so, will they, will that be the catalyst that actually forms all of these desperate groups into an alliance? You know, we've already seen Saw Gerrera this season. Will we pick up with him again? Will we get a whole episode of Two Tubes? God, I hope so.
Oh, one can only dream, you know.
Maybe a whole episode of Melshi and his Neomos attire. I mean, anything is possible.
Yes, that. Oh man, give me Freedy and
Dewey and Freedy.
I'm sorry, Dewey.
Back
please.
again. Yeah,
please. I gotta. I do care a snood about them, and I want them back.
Right.
So.
Care an awful snoot about him. I agree though. Like, there's got to be something to carry us through to that next season. You know, they said this show was going to be, you know, a lot of focus on Andor, and it was about him and what he did. But it was kind of nice to get these really intriguing subplots. I mean, there was a lot of really good threading that was done in this show that we haven't seen in the Star Wars in a while, maybe ever, to be honest with you. It's just like everyone's story was pushed forward with every single episode and every single moment. Like, for them to all build to a head, which was inevitably, you know, the uprising on Ferrix, like it worked. It worked so well. I can't even get over it.
And I care about all these characters, you know, Vel,
Yes.
Cinta, Brasso. Like, what's going to happen to these people as we keep moving forward? And, that's obviously a sign of really good writing. And when you're concerned about these characters and also concerned about Ferrix, you know, like all of our quote unquote heroes left Ferrix at the end. You know, they got out. And so now Ferrix is probably going to get doubled down on it, become like a complete Imperial hellhole. And so will that be the subplot for Brasso and those characters? Will they try to save Ferrix, you know? Not save Ferris. That's a different movie.
Right.
Save Ferrix would be a fantastic t-shirt. I've an idea.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh,
oh, that is
I
great.
steal that. I might steal that. That's brilliant. Damn.
Well, you would. I mean, do we get a
yeah.
situation where, like, you know, what is it like? The Empire could never take back Lothal. You know, is that kind of what the fate of those characters
leave it
is?
alone.
Much like, they like, because I mean, honestly, these people will fight with bricks. Like, they're not gonna we know the Empire doesn't do good with stones and sticks, obviously, and everything. So we're it's not gonna. I just don't think it's gonna work out for them. But like, do we have is this Lothal and Ferrix, or a couple of these places where like they were actually able to fight them off? But I also like, though, is it a hellhole? Is it what is it? What are we doing? Where are we going with this? It's just, anyway, where am I going with this? I have no clue. My mind is just a buzz with anti-fascist propaganda right now, and I'm just I'm excited.
You know what's crazy too is obviously the show, I think they just started like production or filming on season 2, and so it's not going to happen until 2024 and possibly late in 2024, depending on, you know, the release window and whatnot. But by the time season 2 of this show comes around, like, Star Wars as a franchise will be just so vastly different. I mean, like, Mando season 3, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Bad Batch season 2, maybe the Acolyte. I don't know where that's
Indiana
slated.
Jones. I mean, Lucasfilm as a whole.
Willow.
I mean, literally, like Willow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a different ball game, and even like I said earlier, politically, it'll be different too. It's just
And I just love all the different flavors. I mean, Star Wars there's always been various flavors of Star Wars, you know, for different people, whether it's like you're really into the EU books or just the movies or the animated series or what have you. So I love the fact that we get something like Andor, and then we also get Mandalorian. You know, like I'm a little trepidatious and a little, as always, fearful of the fact when we swing back into Mando mode, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are like, oh, why isn't this like Andor? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you can have both, and you can like, or you can just watch what you like and not bitch all the time about what you don't like. It's fine. You know? So like,
thank you. If you want to be traumatized every week again, listen, I liked it, but I mean, I enjoyed being traumatized because it was a good traumatizing. But I need you need a breather. You need to take a little bit of a breather for your mental health. You know,
Willow next week. I can't wait to wake up and watch that. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I cannot wait just to be like, I'm like, okay, wands and fairies and little people. Like, I just can't just give me more. But that being
Give us
said,
the variety. We want the Chex Mix. Star Wars is
I
a Chex
will
Mix.
say Kenobi was a heavy show. We have come off the tail end of heavy shows, and it was epic. There was a legacy to it. This show,
We've had a little bit of a dirge moment in Star
Mhm,
Wars for a
mhm.
little bit here.
Yeah, and it's been nice. It's been fun to be reflective and what it means to us,
Cathartic.
and how, yeah, it's cathartic, and how we interpret it's also cathartic, because a lot of this is very different. But all that being said, I loved it. Andor was great. I'm excited to see more of it. Deeply excited.
And I love too that, you know, on its own, Andor is incredible. Like, we've experienced this great 12 episode
Yes.
season, but now you plug in Andor into Rogue One, and then you plug it into A New Hope, and you get that huge uplifting emotional swing now, which was, you know, we already felt that way about A New Hope, but this is only going to enrich it and to enrich the movies, and that's just it's incredible that a show can take a, you know, a 40-plus-year-old movie and give it new life. So,
God.
And they still do it. They're constantly doing it. They did it with Kenobi. We're doing it with Andor. It's just yeah, it's absolutely incredible. But
I really
this
am
has been so good.
curious. I think if we do happen to get, I guess, something from George on this show, I wonder if he's seen it. Like, that THX feeling that it had with the prison episode. Like, I wanted to hear just a little bit of his input. Not to say that he did or did not like it, but I hope there's something there.
I just
would
want to
love to
see
see
like a video
George.
of George. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I wish,
Was
like,
this
back in the old days, when you were part of the Lucasfilm fan club, there was a webcam that you could watch, like, while they were filming Revenge of the Sith. You could just watch them make the movie. And I wish there was a webcam now that was just George watching Andor, where he's just sitting on the couch like, yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah,
that's right. That's what I said.
Hey Ben, get in here. No, like I want to see those feeds, like the Ring camera feed from George Lucas's house and stuff, where he's chucking bricks in the backyard, like
He's
at
just
cardboard
like head
cutouts.
banging nonstop. During all this speech.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is
Hell
great.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Great. Give me a
It's
Hershey
this
bar.
clip. Here's the clip I was looking for.
Hi, Ben. Hi, George. How's it going? It's going all right.
The way he stands there is so good.
Have you seen Andor? That's the next line out of his mouth.
Have you seen
Freedom
Andor?
is a pure idea. Okay, George, thank
Wish
you.
I made it.
Freedom is a pure idea. He
Got it,
would,
George,
right?
thank you.
Dude. That is something Padme would say, though. I didn't think about that. Is straight up something Padme would say. Damn, that is pretty good. That was a good tie-in there, Adam. Jesus.
And wouldn't it be incredible if, like, because, you know, Andor is he's got this Nemec's journal. At some point, will he pass it off? And who will he pass it off to? Will it be
right
Mon Mothma or someone like that, you know, that can say those ideas on a huge stage?
Oh man,
that's beautiful. Just because that character is so tragic, this young person who had such good ideas, who could do so much good, just snuffed out. But those ideas are eternal. They just keep going, and it's absolutely just
it's almost
this show
like
again,
this
narratively,
holocron.
poetically. Oh yeah,
it's like almost this holocron for like the boots on the ground, you know, like this like archive of ideas and thoughts and feelings and stuff. It's just like no one's ever really gone. You know, Nemec's died. He made the sacrifice, but he left behind something that, you know, will inspire everyone, which is sort of kind of the story of the show.
Yeah,
which is ultimately what he wanted to do as well. It's just
exactly
it's beautiful,
but not Cousin from the Banner. He was not interested in doing that.
Oh my God! Well, Adam, I can't thank you enough for being here and enlightening us, because this is late. It's different. It's different than normally how we do Bombad, and I'm glad you can accommodate to doing it on a Wednesday night and being able to come and hang out for another finale, which which I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it on full screen this time. Every finale, every
Let's
one
do
of
that.
them is going to be Adam's. That's it.
It's
He's reserved the
we've
spots.
We've set a new Bombad commandment from here
This
on
is
out.
it.
The Lego, the Freemason Adventures or whatever that show's called.
Oh,
That's it.
it's gonna
that's
be
it. Yeah.
it's whatever they put on YouTube now. Those little like cartoon shorts. Like, all right,
Galactic
we got to the
Pals.
season- yeah, we got to the season finale of Galactic Pals. Adam,
I know
Jedi
Ellie
game
would
show
love to
with-
talk about that stuff. Right. Okay. We'll bring her on. She'll host it. Okay.
heck yeah.
Fantastic.
But no, seriously, Adam, thank you for the bottom heart to be our pilot guest for this experience and
Thank you.
being able to come and be on the show with us because I'm going to be real with you right now. Having a friend like Adam, this is the only reason we can have full on written like breakdowns of this because this has only been out for barely 20 hours now. So like, 18 hours actually. So like being able to have you have some time to digest it and write all this stuff down makes it a lot easier and helps
This man
us.
he's a professional writer. Go read his stuff. It's really good. You know?
Yes.
Go
One
read
of a
Adam's stuff.
kind.
It's very
I'm
good.
on Hive. I don't know if you've heard of Hive, but I'm on there.
What is this Hive? I
Oh,
keep hearing about this
Hive.
Hive.
Are you
No,
a bee?
I'm on there as well.
It kind
You
of
know,
works sometimes, and it's pretty good.
It's pretty.
It's
You know,
interesting.
it's very positive, and you might be seeing a little bit more of that logo down there on there. So that we don't have an official Bombadcast Hive yet, but
But we will.
it could be in the works. We're talking to our people. We're signing some deals. It's fine.
Well, Adam, is there anything you want to plug before you head out, bud?
Not a thing. You can just find me on Twitter or Hive at Adam Frazier, and I have a weekly column at /film called Star Wars Bits, where I cover all the Star Wars news from the week. I'm taking this week off for Thanksgiving, but I'll be back next week.
This would have been a heavy week anyway. With Bob Iger bouncing.
Oh man, yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff to catch up on for next week for sure.
Let's just pray that the weekend is kind.
Yeah,
especially if we get like an
exactly.
indie trailer or something. Like Lucasfilm Twitter is just going to lose their minds. So
Oh yeah, we will spontaneously combust. It will happen. Yeah.
Well, we're glad you can be here, and we've been lucky enough to be featured in the Star Wars Bits. So,
Honored
any
every
obviously
time I see us in there.
anytime we get a shout out, it always feels like what we do. Like Marvel, what we do matters. Like no matter what, you add to this experience, and things can happen. But we thank you, Adam, as always. Anything we need to plug, Jerry, besides this sexy photo of you? I didn't tell him I was going to show him.
No, my Tinder profile name is no. I'm just playing. Just stay bombed like me. Wear your shirt open and don't care what anyone thinks.
Or me.
It's fine.
You can say bombed like me
Listen,
too. Either
and
way.
stay bombed like. Do we have that picture of the dude at the table still on the beach from Andor?
Oh, I don't have that on here.
Oh man,
no.
that's fine.
That's the thing.
Let's-
We do
that's
have
out-
this.
That's
though.
us. There we go.
Jared
look at that.
losing live. Jared, the gray Jedi, losing live
it was
on
brilliant.
oh my god,
See, there's some additions. There's me and Joe.
There's a lot of.
Look at Joe's chest. That's
It is-
ridiculous. That doesn't look
He
real.
looks
It
like
looks
Gaston,
photoshopped.
like an actual
gotta be.
realistic, like a live action Gaston, is what that. Yeah.
Oh,
Way to
anyway,
go,
another
Joe.
friend of the show, Nick Milkey, there as well.
Yeah.
We're just dicking around now. Adam, if you don't mind, can we get a good stay bomb before we head out and listen to some Pizza Time players?
guys, remember this: stay Bombad. Try.
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share. What is it?
Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
as I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat. This wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? Alzheimer's disregard